Hello, everyone, and welcome to the NintendoFuse Podcast. This is episode 211, entitled The Final Partner Showcase for 2020. We're going to talk all about that Nintendo Direct Mini, even though it's not much of a Nintendo Direct. I guess it still technically is titled that. And we're going to talk all about the games talked about on that Direct that was just right after last week's episode. And to join me, Steve, in doing that, as always, is Barry and Greg. Hey, Barry, how's it going?
Hey, Steve, always a pleasure. Happy to be here. It's going to be a fun episode.
For sure. And Greg, how are you doing tonight?
Good. Glad to be here. I always love talking games with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. We got Jesse and Roberto already talking in the chat, and speaking in the chat, just reminding you guys to jump on and join us live. If you've never joined us live for an episode, we love having you guys in the chat room as we talk about all these different Nintendo stories and all the games we've been playing and all that stuff. It's so great to interact with you guys, but also to just have you guys on our social media and Discord and everything. So if you've not followed us yet on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, just follow us at NintendoFuse. We would love to have you guys join us on social media, and also we would love for you guys to join our Discord. Absolutely love talking games with you guys in there. So if you haven't jumped in there, join. The link's on the screen. It's also in the description down below, your show notes on your podcast apps, all that sort of thing. We'd love for you guys to join and keep in that conversation. And also wanted to just remind you guys to subscribe, share, all those different things. That just helps us get the word out about the Nintendo Fuse podcast, and helps us continue to grow this community. So thank you guys for doing that and for being around for 211 episodes. That's pretty awesome. So here it is, November 4th. No, that's not right. November 3rd. Yeah. Today's November 3rd. I'm 3rd. Rushing past today. It's a crucial day in the state of our country. Lots going on today. Maybe some of you are already, making your decisions upon what you're going to be buying pretty soon, a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, because that's the crucial thing, right? That's what our country is divided upon right now. Is that right?
Absolutely. It's blue versus green right now.
Absolutely. No, there's some other stuff going on, presidential election and all those stuff's going on right now, and I'm sure the results are rolling in and everything, but we are not going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking Nintendo Night, and we are so glad to talk about that with you guys, and the whole world of all the craziness that's going on right now. At least we have video games to hold on to, right? and Mario's still there, no matter who wins the presidential election. At least for now, he's still there. So let's jump into what we've been playing lately. And Greg, we're going to give you first tonight. What have you been up to since we talked last week?
Let's see, still playing Animal Crossing. Did the awesome Halloween event. Got to talk to the czar and get all the different recipes. There was a special carriage one and a garland and something else that I got along with the wand. So that was pretty cool to wrap that up. And then obviously with it being November, there's another bug and 2 more fish and another 5 sea creatures to catch. Still having plenty of trouble fishing off the pier because I was trying to get my daughter the mahi mahi before it went away, and for 4 days straight I was using over 30 plus bait every day. I'd posted on Twitter and I couldn't even catch one for her. So now I'm trying to get the tuna at the beginning of this month, and I've already used 60 some bait so far and haven't caught him off the pier yet either. So I don't know what's going on. So it's those pier fish just don't like me at all. Still continuing on, we're playing Mario Kart 8 and Double Dash. She really absolutely loves those, playing the Mario Kart games with me. Also still playing Mario Party 9. She still is infatuated with the mini games. We've now kind of dumped the board game and just jumping right into directly playing the mini games, in the mini game mode. So that's been a little bit more fun and not having to go through the whole board at the little cart mechanic.
Nice.
And then let's see. I think that was just about it. I really wanted to hit the Pikmin demo and the Hyrule Warriors demo, but I just didn't get the time to go in there because I've been trying to backlog that Animal Crossing stuff, and those darn fish won't come home. So
Nice. Let's go to the chat real quick. And yeah, Jesse said he's been playing the Batman Telltale games for the first time and is very impressed so far. And also playing some Super Mario Brothers 35. Roberto's still playing Death Stranding. But he's about to open his copy of Friends of Ringo Ishikawa. And the recent event would provide a beanstalk to warp to 6-1, so he kept causing Lakitu storms. Nice. Yeah, I've not played recently Super Mario Brothers 35, and I'm kind of scared about the Lakitu storms myself because I've seen videos and they scare me. Lakitu by himself scares me, and a ton of them, like 25 on the screen, scares me even worse. Barry, what have you been up to over the last week?
Yeah, those Lakitu storms are not fun at all. My week has had less time for gaming, so I haven't had a huge list of games this time. Animal Crossing was my only Switch game that I actually did get some time to play, and that's mainly because of the Halloween event. I did that, and changing of the month, so I had to catch the new fish and the deep sea stuff, which I did. And then I'm still going for those recipes, the new mushroom recipes. And Nintendo does something that I absolutely hate. They use a nested RNG. And for anyone that doesn't know, RNG stands for random number generator. And whenever you're going for something in any game that isn't, a random chance, it's a pain in the butt. But when you take that chance and you hide it behind another random chance, it's extra bad. And the only way to get these recipes is through balloons. And the way you farm balloons, which I just discovered, I never knew how to really farm balloons, is every 5 minutes there is a chance that a balloon will pop. So it's on the 0 and the 5 every time, regardless of if you go in a house or not. And they appear on one side of your island from 7 to 7, and then they switch to the other side, and everyone's different. And pretty much to farm them, you stay there, and every 5 minutes you run up and down, and you hope that you get a balloon, and then you hope you get the recipe from it. I was trying to play another game while doing that, and I found that I couldn't really enjoy the other game because every 3.5 minutes or so, I had to get ready so I didn't miss the balloon, and I just wasn't enjoying myself. And then when I went like 20 minutes without a balloon, like I just had a terrible RNG shot, and then I finally got a balloon after 20 minutes, and I got 1,000 bell, and I'm like, wow, I just literally wasted 20 minutes of my life for 1,000 bell. Like I did nothing. I just stood around watching this thing, and that frustrates me. like that to me. Like if it was every 5 minutes, that'd be great. Or if you can get the recipes from other avenues, like the spooky recipes you can get from villagers. To me, it's not valuing the gamer's time. And I know you're supposed to do it over a period of time, but it's still, when you spend an hour and you have nothing to show for it, you literally lost an hour of your life. So that kind of pissed me off. So when I wasn't being aggravated by balloons, I was playing Cold Steel 4. Cold Steel 4 is fantastic. It is sucking me in. I'm probably about 60% through, maybe a little more. I'm enjoying it immensely except for one part. And this is the fault of any game that does any type of romance or bromance, where you pretty much in the game, because this is the fourth one, the save file carries over from the first to the second game, which is great. So if you have a relationship, a close relationship with people, they carry over and it shows, which is awesome. It's world building. The third game, because it was published by a different company and came out in a different system, it doesn't take that information. So it pretty much treats you like for lack of better words, a whore. It treats you as if you had everybody, at maxed. So you're on the level playing field, so you can pretty much build whatever relationships you want. Well, the fourth game picks up, and it does carry over your save. And I'm like, this is great. So, my canon character with my, that I have is in a relationship. We start the game, we get together, and everything's great. we win in a battle and you have like an end scene. It's like, oh, thanks for sticking at my side. And it's like, oh yeah, absolutely, anything for you. I'm like, this is sweet. This is what I wanted. It's 4 games. These characters have been together. They've been through hell and back. This is the type of wholesome romance that I think should be good to teach to kids. And then you do a bonding moment, and then the person is like, oh, you know what? I think right now we should just go back to being friends because everything else is going on. And I know why they did that. They did that so that this way you can change your decision. Like, oh, this game I want to romance somebody else. And then when you win a battle, it's like, oh yeah, thanks for your help. Don't mention it. Like, it's super awkward. And I'm like, wow, this made me feel really uncomfortable with characters that I've had 4 games of experience with at this point. Don't do that to me. Give me a choice. I don't want to go down that road. I want to keep things wholesome. And what kind of message does that teach our children? But yeah, I just find that really weird. Like, they can make a choice. Like, do you want to keep everything status, or do you want to keep everything your decision? Other than that, though, the game is phenomenal, and I look forward to finishing it this week, and it's just so good, and I can't recommend the games enough. Outside of that one little thing. And it's a nitpick. It's just a little nitpick. Other than that, I've been doing some more Dragalia Lost, just grinding away, getting new weapons, getting more stronger, doing the stronger content, having a lot of fun with it. And Mario Kart Tour ends tonight, and kicking ass in it. I'm just having a lot of fun with it. And I've still playing some 14. I need to get back into 14. Cold Steel has taken me away, and as Steve alluded to, we have the new systems coming out in just a short period of time. So that's a thing. But I also got something in. I just wanted to share with you guys quickly. This finally came in from Nintendo. I finally got it. The pin set has finally showed up. So this is the size of it. It is big. It is. The pins are quite big. I haven't opened it yet, but they do exist. So hopefully Nintendo is smart and decides to send some more out, because everyone deserves to get the pin set. But yeah, Nintendo fashion. So who knows if there's going to be a set 2, which I believe there will be, because it says set 1. Be ready for it. That's all I have to say.
Greg, when are we heading to New Jersey to steal the pins from Barry? That's what I want to know.
Are we also going to raid the library too and get some missing Switch games that we need? And
yeah, might as well.
Nintendo 64.
Yeah, I mean, that's why he's got them, right? Just so he can take them. Let's go to the chat.
Borrowing them.
Yeah, that's right. We're just long-term loan. Dave's in the chat as well, and he said he just completed Persona 4 Golden after 100 hours and just started playing Kid Icarus Uprising, a game that I actually have never played beyond just trying it out at gaming events and everything. Never actually played Kid Icarus Uprising. Roberto says he really wanted to play Pikmin. Kind of interesting conversation that I wanted to just kind of bring up. I saw that at least in the UK, I'm not sure if it was worldwide, but numbers are kind of down on Pikmin. Is that surprising to either of you guys, or are you is that telling about where that franchise is going or anything like that, or should we be worried at all? Barry, what do you think?
I mean, I think it's telling in the sense that it's the Wii U game at $60 when I think it launched. Maybe it launched at 50. They did the same thing with Tropical Freeze, and when Tropical Freeze came out in the Switch, I said they should have made it, paired with DKCR. Put the 2 games in one, and with this one, I still stand that it should have been a Pikmin Trilogy. I think if it was a Pikmin Trilogy, even with just like the Wii versions of Pikmin 1 and 2, I think it would have sold a lot better. It's not a very popular Nintendo franchise, and it's come out, it almost feels like a filler game. It's like they need something for this time period, and the COVID obviously happening, so a lot of people out of work. A lot of people may not have the money. A lot of people may be saving up for those new systems and decided I'd rather get a PS5 or an Xbox Series X right now, and I can get Pikmin 3 later on when it goes down on sale, especially when you're this close to Black Friday too, right? So Black Friday is just at least in America, is, a couple weeks away, and there's a chance that maybe you go on sale for 10, 15, $20 off or whatnot, or a buy two, get one free. And some people might be waiting for it.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I love the idea. I hope. I mean, I don't know if it's going to happen now, but it's a Pikmin trilogy would have been fantastic. Greg, you're not a big Pikmin fan, are you?
Yeah, I've never
played
played Pikmin, so I can't say that I hate the game or anything. So,
Yeah.
I mean, from my knowledge of it, I mean, this is like the third time they've released Pikmin 3, so it's kind of like how they're doing
No,
Star Fox.
second.
They keep rehashing the same kind of stuff like with the Star Fox games. And
Yeah, it's just
Only
the
the
second
second
one,
time, though.
and Pikmin stories do change from game to game quite a bit. So and there's
yeah,
definitely a
I think
retelling of it.
the captains change and they have different types of Pikmin and stuff like that. But
Yeah, but it would have been
I don't
great,
know.
to have a trilogy, and some people like you or other people that had never gotten into it. It'd been awesome to have all three of those games in one.
Yeah, but I think if they're just porting a Wii U game and selling it at full price, that's not as good of a deal.
Well, they added some
added
stuff.
the
There's like
trilogy.
new story content.
Yeah, that's true. There's a little bit extra, but yeah.
Yeah, I think they're trying to reproduce the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe thing, but they can't.
That's right.
Mario Kart's just a little bit bigger of a series.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. For me, Animal Crossing and Rocket League, of course. I did also play a little of the Circle of Sumo, and it sucks.
I downloaded it just for you.
We should still play it sometime, but yeah, it's not good. But it's free, so I got it to crash like 3 or 4 times in a row. When you're searching for a when you're searching for a match online, if you look at your friends list, like within the game, if you look at your friends list in order, because it uses the invite function that a lot of games don't use. But you can look at your friends and invite them to play. As soon as you do, crashes the whole thing. So that's fun. And then I beat my opponent. Like, you go 5, it's the first to 5 wins, and I slaughtered him. It was bad. He was horrible. So I think for that day I was ranked like 35th in the world for winning one match.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. I take that with a lot of pride. Yeah, it's like a top-down sort of thing. It's not that great, but hey, it's free. So, and then I also did try some of Control, which I know we're going to talk about in just a little bit when we go through the direct as well, because I wanted to try out the cloud stuff in that and see what that was like. So yeah, we'll talk about that in just a little bit. In fact, we're going to talk about that right now. Let's jump into it. So as we alluded to, there was a Nintendo Direct mini last week, the day after the podcast, of course, because that's how it always works. And yeah, we had several games shown off. Here's what we're going to do tonight. I'm going to run through all the main details of all the different games, all the release dates and that sort of thing, and then we'll kind of go back through the list and talk about the games in further detail. So they first showed off Bravely Default 2, which is going to be launching on February 26th of next year. Of course, all these dates are subject to, all the COVID things and all that thing. So who knows if they're actually going to stay that way. But Story of Seasons, Pioneers of Olive Town is coming out on March 23rd next year. Surviving the Aftermath just has a spring 2021 release window. Immortals Phoenix Rising comes out on December 3rd. Bakugan Champions of Vestroia came out on November 3rd. Griffinlands Nintendo Switch Edition comes out next summer. Tropico Nintendo Switch Edition comes out on November 6th. Wait, that is like 3 days from now. Hitman 3 cloud version is to be determined at some point in the future. However, the cloud or control Ultimate Edition cloud version came out that day, so that is out. Like I said, I checked that out. Also, No More Heroes 3 is coming out sometime in 2021, and then we got surprise announcement that No More Heroes and No More Heroes 2 Desperate Struggle came out that day. So kind of a shadow drop of those two previous games. Time UFO came out that day from HAL Laboratories, and of course they also talked about Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity, and they dropped a demo that day, but the full game is going to be available on November 20th. So yeah, lots to talk about. Let's jump into just kind of run through each game a little bit and discuss, first of all, Bravely Default 2. They also did announce another video that was going to drop soon after. Barry, do you want to kind of walk through? I know you're like really into Bravely Default and Bravely Default 2, so walk us through what they announced, because they listened to the players as they played the demo and stuff like that. So what are they changing?
Yeah, so for those of you that didn't know, there was a Bravely Default 2 demo that launched, I think, back in March, and a ton of fun. I do recommend playing it. And they asked for feedback afterwards. So I think they said like 22,000 responses. It was over 1 million downloads for the demo. 22,000 of the people responded. And that's still great. Great that people want to give the feedback. And what's even better is that Square is listening. And this isn't the first time this particular studio has done this. They did this with Octopath Traveler when it was Project Octopath Traveler. So it's nice to see them continue this trend, and I hope they go forward with this. But so some of the things they changed, because everything they showed in the video isn't even everything. They said that there's still more. The difficulty options were added. The demo was like specifically designed to be very difficult, and you will probably die right away, and it'll be like, wait, what happened? Like, you have to learn. So they are doing difficulty modes, which I'm always a fan of. Let people play however they want. The early part of the game is now easier. However, the big battles will still retain challenges. They will still want to not be able to steamroll things over. The turn gauges and exclamation mark points are added, so you can actually see who goes when, because sometimes it's a little more confusing of the turn order. You can now skip the battle intro, so anytime like you went into a battle, you touched an enemy, like the camera rotated around the arena and stuff, and like you see all like the enemies pop up, but you can skip that to save time. It's easier to see who can act. There's more detailed battle information. The monster movement and speed and behavior is adjusted now. Like, monsters will actually chase you, or they'll run away from you. Weaker enemies will run away. On stronger, they'll glow red. What that means is like you'll be able to tell, like, this is a really difficult enemy. Maybe I shouldn't go for this yet. So you don't go into it and then get the floor wiped with you and die, which happens. They added an underdog bonus, so you'll get more experience and stuff if you do challenge a tougher enemy. So say, I want to do this, and I'm going to conquer this, and you're able to conquer it, you get bonusly rewarded. They changed the sword swing, so on the map you can swing your sword, and if you hit an enemy with the sword, you get an advantage in battle. The reach in the demo is very short, so they changed the animation and made it the reach a little longer to make it more usable. They fixed some fonts and the background colors because it was hard to read. The UI was also redesigned. There was one of the, I think it was Y, was like a real pain in the butt to hit on the demo, so they changed it so it's a little bit easier to control. Various game settings and jobs have been made easier to view and manage in the menu, because that's the whole point of this, is switching jobs and sub-jobs and everything. So they streamlined it, and that's just some of the stuff. And that's a lot of changes based on player feedback, which is awesome. The game is very much more user-friendly, and I am so excited for this to come out.
That's really cool. Greg, I know you're a big RPG fan. Does all this kind of make you even more excited about Bravely Default 2?
Yeah, I mean, I beat the first two, like the normal Bravely Default and Bravely Second, so I'm totally on board and been excited for this since it's been announced. So it's most likely going to be a day one pickup for me, and it's really great that they're addressing all these concerns. I did feel the demo was kind of hard. I did remember that it was very difficult. I was like, I don't remember this game being that hard, and then it was kind of turned me away a little bit from the demo, so I barely even played it. So
That's cool.
I don't know. It's just great. Yeah, it's still great that they're, like I said, that they're just making these adjustments, and anything that makes it more user friendly is definitely okay with me.
Absolutely. Yeah. Either of you, like, is there anything that that you guys saw in the demo? Because I didn't actually play it. Anything that you would have liked to see them address that they haven't addressed yet?
I mean, the only thing I had with the demo was the difficulty, and even that, I looked at it as a challenge and I got over it really quickly. Just I realized, all right, these enemies, maybe I shouldn't gun for these, or do a little bit where like I would do like 1 or 2 battles and quickly heal at the end until I got stronger. Otherwise, no. It was just really well done. But again, the demo, usually with their Bravely demos, like the area in the demo is unique. The story in the demo is unique. Like you actually don't go there, or if you go there, it's a completely different scenario for why you're in that town. So it's worth playing the demo.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll move on to another RPG, Story of Seasons, Pioneers of Olive Town. Few months away until we get to experience this game. So you're going to be basically cultivating a farm from the ground up. It's pretty much exactly what you're expecting from a farm simulation series of Story of Seasons, right? But you get to experience Olive Town. Are either of you guys excited about this next Story of Seasons game?
Well, I haven't really played the other one, so I was gonna say I haven't really played the other one, so it hasn't looked that appealing to me in general. So it's likely going to be a skip unless I find something where I'm going to say like, oh my gosh, I really need to play this. So
yeah.
I'm tempted. I love the Harvest Moon series, and this is Harvest Moon. The games that come out now that say Harvest Moon are not Harvest Moon. This is Harvest Moon. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking more forward to like Rune Factory 5, which is, also part of the same family. But it does look good. I mean, it really depends on when it comes out, what I'm spending my time doing, because it is a game that requires your attention. Like you do like fall in love with the characters, you do fall in love with the world, just like Animal Crossing, and you do want to spend a lot of time there.
Yeah, for sure. And
yeah, that's kind of what I.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say it really quick. It just reminded me that it just definitely seems like a blend of like Animal Crossing and like what was that game on the 3DS? There was like a weird like RPG game that was like all like character based and Fantasy Life.
Ever Oasis? Fantasy Life. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Fantasy Life.
Well, this is
and
Harvest
Animal
Moon.
Crossing. Yeah. I've never played Harvest Moon, so it's probably why I don't know too much about it.
Yeah, it's so good. Fantasy Life is another great one.
Yeah. I think the most kind of farming simulator I get into is Animal Crossing, so that's not even close to these games. So definitely not going to be checking out this one. But I love that, there's a bunch of people that love this kind of game, so it's cool to see the next installment in it for sure. Moving on, we found out about a game called Surviving the Aftermath. It's going to come out, like I said, in spring 2021, and it's a post-apocalyptic. That is so difficult to say. Future resources is scarce, but the opportunity calls, and players can basically created a disaster-proof colony. We get to see that it's kind of it seems to be something that's very in right now, right? All the post-apocalyptic. I tried to do it again. Kind of themes and everything with books and all that stuff, and maybe some of us think that we're actually getting close to living in a post-apocalyptic world with the way the COVID and everything else that's going on right now. The idea of building and managing a colony of survivors is it's just different, I think, and everything. So yeah, Barry, are you going to be interested in this one?
It looks cool. I like the whole the premise of building and fortifying your base. I like the isometric view. Really depends on what it entails and if it gets a physical version or not.
Yep, yep. Greg, how about you?
I've been kind of like intrigued because this game does remind me of a PC game like Age of Empires. It's like you're just constantly moving around, like getting resources, fortifying your town, and I've just never given these types of games a shot. So I don't know. It does look interesting, but I don't know if I'm fully committed to being on board to getting it.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely one of those games that I think I might watch some other people play through it, but it's not going to be exciting enough for me to pick up myself. But
Yeah.
the idea is interesting, so I'll probably watch some streamers or something like that. Get into it. The next thing they talked about was Immortals: Phoenix Rising. This is a game that we've been awaiting for a while, and it's coming out in just a little bit, like a month from today exactly.
1 month exactly.
Yeah, so December 3rd, full price game, huge big game, and we know so much about it already. We didn't really get. I don't know. Was there anything new that we found out that day? I can't remember what has been discussed and
so.
what has not been discussed yet. But yeah, seems like a fantastic game. Greg, is this something that you're excited about?
Yes, I certainly am. It's my dad had already pre-ordered it for me for Christmas, so I won't be able to play it until closer to Christmas, but it's already pre-ordered and definitely looking to try this game out.
Nice, nice. Barry, I know you're excited. Did this help the excitement at all, or you're just like, just give me the game after all this?
I think after a certain point, then your mind's already made up. You're set. You're going to be playing this game, or you don't need to see anything else. I understood why it was there. It made sense from a business standpoint why it was there. I'm glad it was quick. But yeah, it's definitely something that I hope to start on the 3rd.
Yeah, yeah. And you said you're probably going to be playing it on a different system?
Yeah, I'll probably be playing the PS5 version just probably the better experience. It does seem like a taxing game, and it's one of those where if it's on both systems, and I might as well play the better experience. But I'm still buying it on Switch. I'm still going to support the Switch version.
Yeah, cool. Just going back to the chat just a little bit. Roberto's interested in the Bravely series, so that's really cool. Yeah, if you love RPGs, I know that it's a great series. And if I was really into RPGs, it'd definitely be one that I would jump on for sure. Jakester is here, and he's really excited about Immortals as well. So that's really cool. Roberto says that he's hoping to play Elden Ring by Christmas time, but that's not going to happen. All right, let's move on. They also talked about Bakugan, Champions of Vestoria. Strategy, epic action. I mean, it's Bakugan. Are you guys excited about Bakugan at all? Or is this kind of just like, yeah, you know what? I'm glad that it's out there for some people, but it's not for me. Barry, how about you?
That's pretty much it. I was interested to see how it would review because it's made by WayForward, and I like WayForward games. And it reviewed as I expected. It's more like a beginner RPG, which is fine. That is the target audience. The only reason this game had any backlash at all is because they teased it at the Nintendo Treehouse, and we all thought it was going to be something huge. And they gave us this, which is not what we want. We were not the target audience for this. For kids, this is perfect. For young ones who you want to get them into RPGs, this is perfect. But will I be getting it? Yes. Will I be playing it? No.
Yeah, same here. I definitely not. It's cool. Unfortunately, I think it may be a waste of talent from WayForward, in my opinion. But that everybody can have their opinion. Greg, what do you think about Bakugan?
Yeah, it's definitely not something I was going to pick up, but obviously I'm glad it's there for other people that would want to have that game. So I know Steve's not really into RPGs, so maybe this is the game that can kind of lead him into that. And then he's like, oh, the RPGs are so great. I got to go play Bravely Default. And
it's not that I don't play
Yeah,
RPGs. I just don't have the time for RPGs anymore. I didn't even finish Pokemon. I don't have time for Bravely Default. It's probably going to last me like hundreds of hours. Hey, but at least I played Torna. All right.
Yes, you didn't, and that's what you should be doing for the holidays. Like go to Xenoblade 2.
Oh man, I don't know. That's a lot. Uh, well, they didn't stop at Bakugan. They also moved on to Griffinlands. It's having a Nintendo Switch edition coming out next summer, and you're going to use your negotiating skills to do a deck building roguelike game. Roguelite, not roguelike. Roguelite game. So yeah, it seems like I feel like more and more roguelite games are making their way out in general, but I feel like the Switch is getting a ton of them. Every time I turn around, there's a new roguelite game, and yeah, I'm actually not familiar with Grifflands at all, but you know, it's cool. I like the look of it. It has that like Saturday morning cartoon kind of look to it, and the graphic style, with cards and everything like that. Not my thing, but it does kind of look pretty cool. Greg, are you going to be picking this one up?
Nah, probably not. I haven't really been interested into like virtual like card games, like a virtual Magic the Gathering type game. So that's probably not for me, but still glad it's there for other people that do enjoy those types of games.
Yeah, yeah. How about you, Barry?
I love virtual card games. I'm not a fan of roguelike games, unless they're done a certain way where you really, you keep a lot of stuff, you keep experience points, but where it's like, oh, only if you get to a certain checkpoint, then it carries over and you die a bunch till you get to that point. That's not for me. I like to, every run, I prefer to take something back from. And the last card RPGs I did were the Bait and Kados games, which are awesome and fantastic, and also Monolith Soft. But it looks cool. It's probably not going to be something that I play.
Yeah. Same here. Jakester's interested in it, but he's probably not going to get it. So I think that's how it seems like we have a trend. Seems interesting. Not going to get it. Not going to play it. Here's another one. They showed off. Tropico VI is coming to Nintendo Switch in just a couple days, November 6th. And yeah, I mean, it's if you're familiar with the Tropico series, which I am not really, that's a new thing for me. But you're going to be designing exclusive palace design and captivating flamingo pond, something every dictator craves to impress his neighboring states, and tourist costume for El Prez to enjoy those warm Caribbean nights adequately. So yeah, it is what it is. It's definitely not my thing at all. Barry and I were just chatting about it before the podcast began, and I was like, yeah, probably not going to be playing that one. What do you think, Barry? Like, I know we chatted earlier, but for the podcast audience, what do you think about Tropico 6?
I mean, it's a cool game. It's a PC game mainly. I know like Tropico was on the 360, but it, like, from the footage, it definitely shows it like running roughly. Like there's a lot of pop in. I don't know how the full game works. If that was, the finalized game, it definitely seems like it's going to stress the Switch. So I don't know if the Switch version is going to be the version to play. I don't think it's getting a physical release. Or it might be getting a physical release. I forget. But it's one of those that, for me personally, I'm not going to have the time right now to play it. And if you like the Tropico games, if you like the simulator, oh yeah, it is getting a physical release. I stand correct. So I'm getting a physical version of it. But I just don't have the time.
Yeah. Greg, how about you?
Yeah, probably not something that I'm terribly interested in. I honestly don't even really remember too much about it, but even like hearing what you guys are saying, it doesn't sound like it's something that's up my alley. So glad it's there for people that do like it, but obviously not for me.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of seems like a Sim City, but more. You're like ruling this island, and yeah, kind of maybe Animal Crossing versus Sim City, like together, and then throw in something else that makes sense. We also found out that we're not only getting one but two new cloud games that are coming to North American shores. We have had one other cloud version of a game. Is that
It was
right?
Resident Evil 7 in Japan.
In Japan only. So this time they've actually brought it here. We're getting not only Control, which is out now, but Hitman 3 is coming out at some point. So Hitman 3 in the very popular series. A lot of people have played the entire Hitman series. Agent 47 returns. It's the World of Assassination trilogy. It's the end of that trilogy, which is really interesting that we're only getting 3, I think. Maybe they're gonna test the waters and see if they want to bring out 1 and 2 or not. But yeah, Hitman 3. Like I said, we don't know. We know about the game because it's already been released, but it's not. We don't know a release date yet on Switch. And then we got Control that actually did come out before. Oh, we got as you guys are watching on the screen, it's rated mature, so I have to put in my birth date to make sure that I can actually see this page. So if you guys are watching along and you're not 18, look away for a second.
You're not old enough, Steve.
I'm not old enough. But Control Ultimate Edition is out for Switch right now. I'd love to kind of just talk about these cloud versions for a second. First of all, did either of you guys get a chance to try out Cloud or not Cloud Control just yet? Greg, did you get a chance to play it yet?
No, I didn't even really know it was like it was out, and haven't really looked too much at it.
Okay.
But
Barry,
obviously, if you're going to be raving about it, then I might have to be doing that tonight.
Yeah, Barry, have you tried it yet?
No. Control's one of those games that I actually did want to play. It got really good reviews. And when this was announced, I said, oh, yeah, you know what? I never actually got Control. So I wound up buying the Ultimate Edition on PS4 because that way I actually own the game and can play it on the PS5 when it comes out. And I don't have to worry about server.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just interested. I played it just to check it out and everything because you do get a timed demo, if you will, to be able to try the cloud service out because honestly, like if your internet's not good enough, they don't want you wasting the money on the game, which I think is a great move. I think it's really nice of them if they're not going to release the entire game actually on a cartridge or make it available to download fully. It's nice that they at least allow you to test it out and see if your internet actually works. And honestly, it worked better than I expected. Now, I do have fiber internet coming into my house. So like I have gigabit speeds. I don't get gigabit speeds in this room where I was playing it, but it's still pretty high speed internet. But it ran really smoothly. I was surprised. And you have 2 different options to play. You can play on performance mode or you can play on high graphics mode. And I tried both, and both went very, very smooth. A little bit of hiccups in the high graphics mode, but not really that bad at all. No more than I've gotten on any Xbox game or anything like that I played. I wasn't a big fan of the beginning of Control though. It was okay, but the camera controls of all things made me kind of woozy. Honestly, it didn't feel that smooth, and I don't know if that had anything to do with any sort of like maybe frame rate issues because it was from the cloud, or if that's just the game itself, and I would have the same experience if running it on a PS5 at 120 frames per second.
Well, I heard like the PS4 even struggled to play the game, and there was some performance issues, so a lot of people chuckled when they saw oh, this for Switch, are you kidding me? That's why I'm waiting till the PS5, because it even says on the box, this is enhanced with PS5, it's done on purpose. So it's one of those where, hey, you know what, that's how I'm gonna play. Maybe I won't get sick.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. Like I said, I have really good internet speeds, so take that into account. But I was really surprised because this is the first time I've ever played a cloud-based game, and it didn't feel like I was running it from the internet. It ran really smooth. So not that I necessarily want this to happen more often, but if it's going to actually bring some of those games that have higher graphical fidelity to the Nintendo Switch, maybe I'm not so opposed to this option, I guess. Greg, are you going to be picking up or downloading Hitman 3 or Control eventually?
I might try the Control demo to see what I think, but I mean, I think my internet's usually pretty fast, but I don't know for sure, at least for a streaming game. So that obviously would be a really good test on my part. I mean, I do have an access point that's like right above the Switch, so I can't imagine there'd be too many problems. But then again, I don't know if the speed is going to be enough for the game to handle, especially if it's made for the PS5 of all things. So I don't know. I think I might give it a shot, but I don't know if I'll be purchasing it, obviously, if it's not going to go smoothly. So I'm kind of, I mean, the cloud is what it is. I mean, it could obviously be taken down and then you don't have it anymore, but I don't know. I'm kind of interested to see how well like these cloud games can go on the Switch, and if they play well, then I guess that's all that really matters in the end, because everyone always complains about the other multiplayer experiences on like Mario Maker and Smash, like, oh, it's so laggy, and so here's where your whole game's on there, and if now you really know that it's your internet and not the other person. So
that's true. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, Barry, you're gonna be getting Hitman 3?
No, I mean I'll probably get on the system because I have the first two, but I didn't play those either. I just get it for the sake of getting it to have the whole trilogy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm probably not going to as well, but it's cool. I like that the fact that they're experimenting with this cloud stuff. I don't know if it's the way to go. Even in our chat room, a lot of people are saying, I don't know if my internet's good enough for this, and that's the case. I think a lot of people, at least in America, I think around the world too, they don't have the greatest internet. There are parts that people have like high-speed internet access, but some people are still, going on really pitiful DSL, and they can't necessarily even play a game like this.
yeah, just really quick, was it Hitman that was supposed to come out on Wii or something, but was canceled, or was that a completely different game? I was just trying to remember. I thought it was a game that began with the letter H, and it could be something different, like Hammer or something. I just thought
there was
like
Project Hammer that was canceled.
Something tells me that they did talk about Hitman coming out for Wii or Wii U or something. I think I remember that, Greg. But I don't think it ever did.
GameCube. GameCube had Hitman games.
Yeah.
But I don't think there was none for the Wii or the Wii U.
Yeah, I thought they had like announced it, and then people asked like what happened to it, and then all of a sudden it was just it was just canceled, and like they never really formally announced it.
Yeah, I think so. I remember if it wasn't that, it was something like that though. I do remember hearing about that. Jakester is saying as well that that's one of the reasons Stadia flopped or is flopping. I guess is because of not the greatest internet connection. I think they've got some other reasons why Stadia is not doing so well or hasn't done so well on top of that, but yeah, it's a lot of people just don't have that internet bandwidth to play a game like that. If you do, it runs pretty well, but you gotta have the internet. Moving on, they also talked about a little game that a lot of people have been pretty excited about called No More Heroes 3. It's coming out sometime. It says available 2020 on here, but it's actually pushed back on 2021 according to the Nintendo Direct. They just have not updated it on Nintendo's site just yet. But yeah, it's coming out next year at some point. But then they dropped. It's funny, they actually still have it in the headline. No More Heroes 3 is coming in 2020. No, it's not. But they also dropped No More Heroes 1 and 2 on the Switch. Something that I don't think was rumored. However, a lot of people have been asking for it for quite a while. And they just kind of shadow dropped them, and I believe they're on sale. At least they were on sale for like 20% off or something like that as well. Greg, are you into the new No More Heroes series?
No, I've never played them, but I might be checking that out later just to see if it's a game that I would be interested in. I don't really know too much about it, but I would definitely be looking to research it further to see if that is something that I would be excited for in 2021.
Yeah, it's definitely it's I've never played the games, but they have definitely a appeal to a lot of people, and they have their own crude humor and stuff like that that goes along with Travis Touchdown and I mean. It was on the Wii, so they involved some different Wii motion control, interesting motion control movements
Yes,
back
they
on the
did.
Wii. So I'm interested to see, if they brought those into the Joy-Con motion control as well. I'm sure they probably did. Barry, are you excited that No More Heroes 1, 2, and 3 are going to be on the Switch?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was. We all wanted to see 1 and 2 come to the Switch as well. I think a lot of people enjoy having an entire game catalog on one system. I'm hoping that we do get them physically. It's going to be by a limited publisher, but hopefully we do get them physically, because as of now they're digital only. But I'm looking forward to them, because remember the other game, Travis Strikes Again, is also on the Switch.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, so we're going to have, as of next year, hopefully next year, 4 No More Heroes
Hopefully.
games on there.
Yeah.
It's interesting that they did this with No More Heroes, but not Pikmin. You'd think they'd bring
Yeah.
Pikmin 1 and 2. Nope, we're going to bring No More Heroes 1 and 2.
But I mean, that's not Nintendo. That's Suda
That is
51.
true. That is true.
Yeah, Nintendo's a little short-sighted on that. Bring Pikmin 1 and 2.
Yeah, let's go to the chat. Jakester says 1 was rumored coming to the Switch. Roberto says he's hoping that they all get a Switch physical release as well. And Jakester says that he thinks he'll go Barry mode and wait to see if these games go physical. Yeah, I think so too. I hope that maybe they'll do some sort of package deal or something like that too, especially for those people that have bought all of those games physically every time, like Barry. That adds up. It'd be nice to put them all on one cartridge instead, so you just have to buy 1 instead of 3, right? Then we also got a new game from HAL Laboratories called Part-Time UFO that also dropped that day. Part-Time UFO is a pretty inexpensive game, $8.99. And you're gonna help the citizens of Earth as a cute little UFO with a handy extendable claw. Have either of you guys played Part-Time UFO yet? Have you already downloaded and tried it out? I'm assuming no, because of what we talked about earlier, what games we've been playing. But if you haven't, then are you excited about Part-Time UFO? I know several people have been. We've been talking about in the Discord. Greg, is this going to be something you pick up?
I was gonna look more into it. It does seem like a cute style game that I could get into, but I don't know. I was still kind of on the fence about it, and might need to see some like streamers play it or just watch some videos on it more to see if it's the right game for me.
Yeah. Barry, how about you?
I mean, it's classic HAL charm. If it was physical, no question. But with it being digital, unless it's like on a super sale, like maybe 50 cents or something like that, I'm just not going to bother because it's no time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It definitely it's exciting. It's cool to see how they've even brought in some of the other characters and stuff like that into this game, and it seems very, very charming. But yeah, I'm with you. Like maybe on sale at some point, even though it seems to be getting a lot of great reviews so far from other people that I've talked to. Not sure just yet, but really, really cool to see some cool stuff from HAL. And then we got the Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity demo. Greg, you mentioned it earlier that you didn't get a chance to play the demo yet. I also have not got a chance to yet either. What were you gonna say?
I did download it. I just haven't fired it up because the stupid fish won't come home in Animal Crossing. It's like taking my time. I'm like, Barry mentioned, like, it's just wasting my time, and that's exactly what it's doing. And
Yeah.
I could have played like these awesome demos and got to finally try Pikmin and stuff, but no, it's Animal Crossing's dumb fish won't spawn after like 100 some bait.
Yeah. Yeah. Barry, did you get a chance to at least download the demo, or are you just going to skip over it and just play it?
No, I did download the demo. It's one of those demos where the progress carries over, which I love, but I am gonna kind of wait till it's closer to the 20th. This way, I play the demo like, a night or two beforehand, and slowly grind a little bit and work on my levels, and this way, when the game actually comes out, I'm a little ahead.
Gotcha.
That's the plan, anyway.
Nice. Yeah, I kind of forgot. I of course knew that day, but I kind of forgot that the demo existed. So yeah, I need to download it still and also play it. But yeah, super pumped that they decided to include your save data. That's so great. And we've said it before. I hope more and more game developers do that with their demos, because it only helps, I think, in the long run, that we can take this and move it on to the final game. So, but that was the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase, the final one of this year. So we don't have any more for this year. Just the last one there. Sorry, I was kind of making sure Greg disappeared on us. Oh, he's coming back. There he is. Greg is finally back. We're gonna welcome him back in. Hey, whoa. There he is. Greg is here.
I don't know what happened. Like, my browser just like crashed and like my whole window was shut down.
Oh no. Well, we're glad you're back. You didn't miss a whole lot. Just me kind of scrambling, going, "Where did Greg go? Greg
disappeared to the void."
Cancel the show.
But yeah, what do you guys think of the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcases? Like, especially this one. Jakester said in the chat earlier that he kind of thought the whole thing was just okay, one game after another. It was like, cool, it exists, but not really interesting to me. I kind of tend to fall in the same camp. A lot of cool games, but very little that was really exciting for me. Not a bad overall showcase, but nothing that like really grabbed me that hadn't grabbed me already at this point. So yeah, Greg, what do you think about this partner showcase?
I mean, to me personally, this was been the best one for me because like I really like Bravely Default. I was been really interested in Phoenix Rising, and then there's Hyrule Warriors, which I'm already pre-purchased on that as well. So to me, it was a lot more targeted towards me. So I think that's why this is my favorite partner showcase. But I understand, like, if you don't like RPGs, you don't like these other games, or you've already seen it like 10 times for these other things, and it's understandable. But I mean, I don't really watch tons and tons of like upcoming games, and I've been trying to not watch as much like Age of Calamity just because I want to try to limit my knowledge of it going into it, because I'm just beyond excited to see Breath of the Wild, like the prequel. But in terms of everything else, it just, to me, it was definitely better because obviously, as I've been saying, it just was more games I'm interested in. So
cool. Jakester says he feels the previous Direct was the best one. But yeah, what do you think, Barry?
I thought this one was on par with the previous one. I really enjoyed it. I thought there was a lot of great stuff showing off, a lot of things that made me excited. And I like these little partner directs as long as they happen quite frequently. I do miss a standard Nintendo Direct, though, with Nintendo first-party stuff. So hopefully next year we're able to get that again.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the question is, how long has it been? It's been over a year since we've had a full Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, it was last September.
Yeah.
Like a year.
Yeah.
So well over a year.
We did have a mini in March, but
so we've had a lot of minis.
September.
And you had the
well,
Mario
I mean, like an
Focus.
actual mini with Nintendo stuff, not partner.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we did have like the Mario Celebration Anniversary one in September, but that's not really a full Direct either.
Yeah. Oh, Jakester just said something that I think Barry and him might not get along with here? He says he has no interest in Bravely Default 2.
Look. There's nothing wrong with having no interest. There's nothing wrong with having terrible taste. I mean, look, that's just the way it is, right? And we're all free to do what we want.
Right. A couple quick things before we wrap up. Barry, I know that there's some limited rare games coming out. You want to quickly kind of run through what they have to show off before we wrap up today?
Oh yeah. So this was a whole giant debacle. This happened last April. They randomly showed up out of nowhere, a company called Limited Rare Games, and they had one game up for sale called Poop Slinger on the PlayStation 4. It was April Fool's. People like this is an April Fool's joke. The website was like partially Russian. They were asking, like, oh, let's give us some, money, and they were talking everything was like cryptic, and then they shut down and they deleted their Twitter where they went silent, and everyone's like, what's going on? And sure enough, a few months later, the game shows up. There's like 80 people who actually bought it. Oh my God, this is legit. So no one heard anything about them again. They supposedly disappeared. Then on October 31st, Halloween, they magically popped up with a brand new game, Tanashi, for the PS4. And they did a cryptic, well, they were like kind of teasing it, but it was under a new Twitter handle. And it was very cryptic. The website's in like really broken English. The website kept going down. They kept like hitting the switch, like, oh, it's down. And on Twitter, they were like, Ivan needs to fix it. Ivan, get more vodka. Let's fix it. Stop buying this game all at the same time. And it would come up, and it was periodically, it would come up for a few seconds and then go down again. And they would just keep teasing, like 6 more hours to Halloween, 5 more hours of Halloween.
Yeah.
And sure enough, they eventually were like, oh, the website's down. Now just PayPal us the money. Like, here's our address, to start PayPaling us the money. And it was like, people are like, is this legit or not? The whole thing is a joke in terms of everything they're doing. But end of Halloween, they deleted the page for the game. The website still exists, but the contact info doesn't work or anything like that. Their Twitter still exists, and they tweeted a countdown timer, which ends on April 1st, 2021, and they said see you in April, which means they're probably going to have another one. Now, from what we know, they're probably located in California, because they went till midnight on Halloween night, California time, Pacific time, but nobody is claiming responsibility. Nobody is stating who that really this is. They do charge more for international shipping versus domestic, so they probably are U.S. based. They in order to do a PS4 release, the minimum run, I believe, is 1,000 print. They're not selling through that 1,000 print because they're purposely trolling people, and then they're destroying any extra like copies of this game. So they're clearly just doing this to troll people, but they are actually doing a real product, and the developer or the publisher for this game, which is Digerati, actually said, yeah, this is legit, like we really signed with this and it will come out. Meanwhile, Limited Rare is tweeting, you give us money for game we send out when finished, maybe. Like all this cryptic stuff is so funny. And it's bizarre, but it's legit. And if you look online right now, you go to eBay, you look up Poop Slinger, it exists for PS4, and it is very expensive because so many people thought it was an April Fool's joke. And sure enough, they were selling bubble mailers. Like, here's the bubble mailer, you could buy the bubble mailer. And like people were actually doing that on eBay, and then Limited Rare is like, oh, don't pay more for them, we'll sell you just the bubble mailer and stuff like that. Like, it is so bizarre and crazy. And while right now they're only doing PS4, and I think that's because of the size, like the minimum limit. Who knows? They could randomly show up with a Switch game if they're mad enough at their money and they have enough money to troll the internet. But that's just it. It is a legit troll. It's not even a true troll because they do have an actual product that they are sending out. So I wanted to cover that. I'm curious of your thoughts on this. Have you heard about this, or what your thoughts on this bizarre story?
Yeah, I hadn't at all. Roberto in the chat says that this whole thing made him so mad. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about it at all. Greg, have you?
No, I didn't. I definitely need to go check that out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I remember like maybe initially hearing about the original thing, but I had not followed it since then, so I had no idea that the rest of that had happened at all. But yeah, I'm interested to see if they eventually try something on Switch.
Well, April Fools next year. Stay tuned because that's when the countdown timer that they linked to will eventually expire. And who knows what crazy game they're going to come out with? Who knows how many copies? Who knows how long the website's going to be up or down?
Right.
And yeah, it is beyond bizarre.
I got it. Super Mario 35 and Super Mario 3D All Stars and Fire Emblem Anniversary Edition.
And
They're all
Earthbound.
going away on the March 31st. Physical
Mother 3.
copies
Well,
of-
what made it worse this time is last time people thought it was a joke, and I'm not going to give money. It looks like it's from a Russian company and all this. So like, this is going to be a scam. I'm not going to get scammed. And then when it came out and the price of the game shot up because now people are like, well, now that was legit. I want it. I did not get it, by the way. I didn't even know about it at the time. But now that people know about it, they're like, oh, no, this has to be legit, especially with Digerati confirming it. So now everyone's trying to get it because they all think that even if they're not interested in the game, like I'm going to bank on this, why not? And it just made everybody more frustrated because they knew that people would be hounding the game. And that's why they were just turning off the site on and off and on and off. And you look at some of the tweets and they're like, we need a medic for the site. And they're like, the site's up, and it wasn't up. Like they were just trolling people. And they're like, stay tuned, don't go to bed yet. We're working on the site still. Boris needs more vodka to work on it. Hold on. It's so bizarre that this is like legit, but it's in 2020, so it totally makes sense.
Of course. Yeah, Roberto is kind of keeps saying it. He's like, it's a legitimately good game, but the whole thing is just soul crushing. As people are gonna have to spend like their life savings on something like that. Moving on, just because we are already over an hour, and we want to make sure we keep to that as close as we can. Just want to hit this real quick, and then we'll move on to what's coming out over the next week. Yeah, you can find out more on NintendoFuse.com. But Dave wrote an article today talking about how the Mario Kart Live developers are definitely open to more AR projects. So that's really cool. They had an interview with CNET, and like I said, more details are on NintendoFuse.com if you want to read more about that. The article's up there. But that's really cool, just to kind of hear that more AR projects may be on the way. If they get their chance to do that, they would love to bring more to the Nintendo Switch. So that's really awesome. All right, so before we move into what's to come over the next week and what we're going to be playing, do you want to remind you guys, if you haven't yet subscribed, make sure you do that. If you haven't followed us on social media, make sure you do that. And all those links, basically we're at Nintendo Fuse pretty much everywhere. And also make sure you do follow us or join our Discord so we can continue talking this conversation between episodes. We love talking games with you guys. Yeah, let's move on to what we've been what's going to be coming out over the next week, and a little bit less games coming out over this next week, but we do have a game called What the Fork coming out, which I'm wondering if it comes from The Good Place, because that's where I know that phrase from. But also, a game that I know all of you guys are excited about, My Writing Stables 2 is coming out on Nintendo Switch in just a couple days. Also, Cafe Enchante is coming out on November 5th. But we also have Battle Hunters, which we actually did or Barry did an interview with the creative developer, is that right, of Battle Hunters?
The creator.
The creator of Battle Hunters. So if you haven't checked out that industry talk, make sure you do that. But the game comes out on November 5th for $16.99. And then kind of just going through, I know Greg's daughter is going to be really excited. A new Paw Patrol game is coming out this next week. Also, if you have not picked up the DLC or Pokemon yet, you can actually buy both of them. The package deals are coming out on November 6th, so you can buy both the cartridge with the DLC expansion passes built in. Tropico VI comes out, like we talked about as well. Several other games coming out. Also, a little game called Fuser that we've talked about here before, and didn't really know the release date for a long time, and all of a sudden, hey, it's coming out November 10th. So the same day as our next podcast, Fuser is going to be dropping. So you can get Fuser or the VIP version of that. Speed 3 is coming as a physical edition, and looking just forward to the next a couple days after the next week, Just Dance 2021, which I know we're all going to be pretty excited about that. Coming out, they just keep popping them out there because people just love to dance. Greg, what are you going to be playing over the next week?
Definitely just be hitting more of the backlog. I'd really love to try the Hyrule Warriors demo and Pikmin 3 demo and continue on playing Mario Kart games with my daughter. So that pretty much will be my next week.
Nice. Barry, how about you?
Cold Steel 4 until I finish it. After that, maybe some Torchlight 3.
Torchlight 3.
I've got some time between whenever I finish till the PS5 comes out. So we'll see what happens. I might jump back into Final Fantasy 14 and take care of some stuff there before I lose my time again. And of course, still doing the mobile stuff.
Cool. Yeah, I'm going to continue on with, Animal Crossing and Rocket League, of course. But probably going to try out that the Hyrule Warriors demo. I mean, why not? It's a free, and I'll probably end up getting the full game. So why not get an early start on that as well? Before we wrap up, make sure you do guys let us know what you guys are going to be playing over the next week. You can do that in the live chat right now, or if you're listening to this or watching it after the fact, let us know what you guys are going to be playing, what you're looking forward to playing before our next podcast, which is November 10th. We'll be back with episode 212 on November 10th. Which is also the same day that Apple's having their next big press event. So I don't think there's going to be anything tied into Nintendo, but hey, they've surprised us before when they actually had Nintendo on the stage. So who knows? Maybe they'll do that again. If that's the case, we'll cover that for sure next week. But we'll dive into maybe some of the Zelda 35th anniversary rumors next week. There's sure to be some more Nintendo news that we're going to be jumping into. Barry, anything that you're going to be doing over the next week you want to tell the podcast audience about?
As of now, the only thing I'm going to be doing is we have the playcast later this week. Our game is going to be Cobra Kai, which is something I will be playing because I have to be playing it. I've not seen the series, but that is the game we picked. I've not seen the series yet. I know, but I'll be playing around with the game first, and you'll be able to hear my thoughts on that, my full thoughts on that, come the next playcast, and of course, the next NintendoFuse podcast on the 10th. I will talk about it as well and the games I played.
Cool. Greg, anything pretty exciting for you the next week you want to talk about?
Well, I just got word that there's gonna be a Fate channel tonight, so I know that's your favorite video ever to watch. So
yeah,
they do have a different voice actor, so
maybe I'll watch it.
It's definitely much cleaner than it used to be. I know you really didn't like the previous voice actor, but
that's true. I mean, the actor herself may have been just perfectly fine, a perfectly great individual. I just didn't like the voice they were using. So
yeah, she definitely talks much quicker, and it's not as slow and dramatic. It's
that's good.
Definitely way onto the point, and it's pretty quick.
Nice. Jakester also hasn't watched Cobra Kai. Okay, all of you have an assignment. Greg, tell me you've watched Cobra Kai, right?
No, I have not.
What? Oh, it's so good. Watch that. I'm excited because Mandalorian season 2 is out. So pumped. Episode 1 was great. Excited about episode 2, but that's for a different podcast, for a different time that I'm not on to talk about Star Wars. So excited to be back with you guys next time. Episode 212 will be here on November 10th. If you haven't joined us live, make sure you do that. Follow us on NintendoFuse.com. Join us on social media at NintendoFuse. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell. Thanks so much for joining us. See you next time. Happy gaming, everybody.
Have a good one.
See you guys next week.